Today, we're continuing Stoic Week and talking about a Stoic practice that is ironically extremely negative, but it makes you so much happier.
Life is beautiful.
So, Mike, there was once a dad who used to complain all the time about how loud and messy his house was.
Sounds like our house as a kid.
Yeah, well, this story almost made me cry thinking about it. But basically, the kids in this house were always yelling. There was toys all over the place. There was always a mess to clean up after. Someone always needed something from it, and he used to joke that he could not wait for a little peace and quiet. And then one day, his youngest kid goes off to college. He walks into the exact same house, except this time it's extremely quiet. So quiet, there's nothing happening. No laughter in the other room, no one yelling dad. And he realizes something. The very thing that he spent years wishing would go away was the thing that he missed most.
Why did that make you cry?
Because as a father now,
Other than you being soft.
yeah, no, as a father now, I there are many moments when you look around at your house and like, I'm feeding my daughter, or my wife is feeding our daughter, and then there's food all over the place after she finishes eating, and then you put her to bed, and then you're spending the next 2 hours cleaning up, and there are thoughts that pop in your head like, oh man, I can't wait till she's a little older and there's not food all over the place so she can clean up. And then I stop myself and I think, like, these are the good old days. Like, what are you doing, you jackass? Like, appreciate what you have right now, because one day you're going to fucking wish you can pick her up and hold her the way you do now and have her laugh at you the way she does.
Yeah.
So, Mike, why are we telling this story today, and what does it have to do with the Stoics?
The Stoics, they use negativity to their advantage. They use this idea that you take things for granted to their advantage. So rather than doing the classic gratitude lists, they knew the power of gratitude, obviously. They knew the power of basking in the beauty of life that you are living. But rather than make a gratitude list for everything that they had, they thought about what life would look like if they didn't have things that they currently have in their life. So your example with the kid going to college, a Stoic would be very aware of what life would be like if there were no kids in the house before that kid went off to college. And they would be appreciating that kid so much more in those moments because they know that this thing right here could leave at any second.
Yeah.
It will be gone. It could be gone.
And to put some context around this idea, it's called negative visualization.
Yeah,
So
this is, I think, is my favorite.
Yeah, a lot of times we hear positive visualization. This is the opposite.
And it's kind of a close cousin to the one that we talked about yesterday of remembering you die, because the most negative visualization that you could have is remembering your own death, which gets you to appreciate your life. Like, that's the extreme version of it. But there's also daily examples to increase your levels of gratitude throughout your day that are not just like thinking about your own death.
Yeah. So, Mike, tell us the science about why negative visualization is so important.
Because the Stoics knew somehow, I feel like the Stoics knew all these things 2,000 years ago that we learned 2,000 years later, and they just magically knew stuff. Like, for example, hedonic adaptation. That's what modern science tells us is happening when we get used to these things. So you get used to how good your life is. You get used to the warm showers. You get used to the mattress. You get used to the home. You get used to the plumbing. You get used to electricity. You get used to your phone. You get used to the ability to FaceTime someone in Italy within seconds. You get used to these things.
Yeah.
You get used to the new car, right? That is your brain basically just adapting and getting accustomed to this shiny new object, and it loses its shine after a while. That's hedonic adaptation. And so your brain is always searching for more. And that's why gratitude doesn't work so well all the time, because you end up saying the same thing over and over again and you don't actually feel it because of this hedonic adaptation.
Yeah.
So the reason this thing is so effective is because it kind of counteracts hedonic adaptation by, instead of thinking about what you have, thinking about what you could lose.
Yeah. And the most powerful thing that I ever heard when it comes to this is when I heard Gary Vee say that there are times where he looks at his phone and he imagines getting a phone call and it's very dark. The phone call is like, your mom just died.
Yeah.
And then he realizes, oh, wait, she's not dead. I can pick up the phone and call her right
I'll be
now.
honest with you, I do that all the time with Rocky. I don't know why. It's been happening more and more frequently. I keep looking at Rocky, and because I had a first dog, we had a first dog before Rocky that I watched get put down.
Yeah.
I have a very vivid visual of putting my first dog down.
Mm.
And there's sometimes Rocky's only a year old, but there are some times where I look at Rocky and I just imagine what it's going to be like when I have to put him down one day. And it just makes me so emotional and makes me like so present with him and really soak in whatever moment I'm in with him
Yeah.
in that second, because I just know that like this moment is not going to last forever and I need to really soak this in.
Yeah. I love it. Let's go to our call to action today. So, negative visualization. How can we actually apply it to our life? Well, I want you to think about someone in your life that maybe you've taken for granted. They're just always around, always there to support you.
Hedonic adaptation has
And the
got you
hedonic
used to them.
adaptation has taken effect on them. And really imagine for a second that you got a call, a text, that person disappeared off the face of the earth. They are no longer in your life. You are not able to speak to them ever again. Now, hold that negative visualization for a second and allow it to bring you the gratitude that you need for them, and pick up the phone and tell them how much you appreciate them.
Pick up the phone and start dialing.
Yes, call them and tell them that you love them today, and that,
So who's yours? I'm curious.
I mean, it's for sure my wife.
That's
Like
nice. That's cute.
every day you go through, as a parent, you're sometimes just going through the motions of like doing everything you can to keep your your newborn alive and keep the wheels turning. And I think sometimes I could just take for granted all that she does for our family and our daughter. And I think for me, it's that. So Amanda, if you're listening to this, I love you.
Nick's getting lucky tonight.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. Come back for day 4 of Stoic Week tomorrow. Love you.
Peace.